right, welcome back everybody. My name is Pratesh here with Kaizen Crypto, bringing you guys another video. Here today, it is August 26, 2019, and I just wanted to bring you guys some interesting points that I found here. So we're going to be taking a look at the overall market, just talking about some of the key players here, especially with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been able to hold above the 10K price level now for about a week now. So we're going to be taking a look at that and my thoughts on where we can expect the price to go here in the near future. We're going to be taking a look also at the daily chart. So I've got Bitcoin pulled up here on TradingView. So I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on that and what we can expect to see here with the price. Also, I've got a tweet from Rhythm Trader. If you guys have not followed Rhythm Trader, I would definitely recommend it. He has a lot of great content regarding cryptocurrencies and blockchain and tying into the global macro factor with the US economy, with the global economy, and recent events here with the China trade war and negative interest rates. And we're going to be talking a bit about that. So here he's got a tweet pulled up about the US deficit. And we're going to be taking a look at some of these key points that he's mentioned here, as well as Binance also unveiling its first crypto lending service. So all of that is going to be found here in this video. So if you guys are interested in that type of content, be sure to smash the like button. Let me know that you found some value. And of course, if you are new to the channel and if you enjoy these types of videos, please be sure to subscribe. I post cryptocurrency content like this almost on a daily basis. We talk about different altcoin projects, technical analysis, market updates. I give you guys all of that here. So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notified when I post a new video, just click that little bell icon on the side. So to get into it, guys, we're taking a look here at the overall market. Bitcoin right now is holding above 10K. I think that that is very healthy for the overall market, being that the price went on a parabolic run up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chart here. You know, we saw back in April, the price just had a massive monster spike up here. And that led us into this really just parabolic trajectory. And we can see that we have had a cool-off period, which we are hopefully going to be exiting to continue the overall trend here shortly. I would expect to see a move like this most likely within the next week, if not the next few days. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. A lot of the technical indicators that I'm looking at here, just trying to keep it simple. You know, I don't really go too crazy with the technical indicators. My favorite are the RSI, MACD, and of course your longer term moving averages, depending on if you're looking at this from a longer term time perspective or a short term time perspective. So my stance on cryptocurrency and the overall market is that I don't try and trade this market. I know for a lot of people, they do trade this market because of the volatility. You know, it is good for that. But when you look at it, you know, you're competing against bots, you're competing against whales. For me personally, I choose to cut out the anxiety and the stress of the price swings. I focus on a longer term time perspective. That works best for me. You know, this is not financial advice. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts and my perspective and how I choose to approach this market. But for me personally, the strategy that works best is dollar cost averaging. Now, what that means is every time I get paid, or if I get any extra money on the side, if I work a side gig, or you know, there's a holiday or a birthday, anything like that, I choose to take a certain percentage, whatever I feel comfortable with, and put that into whichever cryptocurrency project I would like to invest in. Now, dollar cost averaging is something that can be easily automated. There are a lot of platforms. I know CoinBase does this as well, where you can choose to set up a recurring purchase. So you can just have your dollar cost averaging set on autopilot. And I think that's really great if you just want to have it where it's a simple thing. You don't have to worry about the price. It happens automatically every time you get paid, every 2 weeks or week, however you choose. You know, you can have it automatically deducted from your bank account. So that makes the process very easy. And I think that for investors, it really does come down to simplicity. You know, keeping it as unemotional as possible, because with a market like this, if you're constantly checking the price and you're anxious about whether the price goes up by a couple percentage points or down by a couple percentage points, it's going to be very hard for you to hold for the longer term time frame. And I think that that's what we should be focusing on here. And again, just my perspective, you know, if you're focused on the chop between a price point from, you know, 2,800 and the price goes down to 2200, you're gonna miss the overall price trend, right? Like this swing. So if you were to have sold out here when the price was around about $2,000-$3,000, you would have missed the point where it went up to almost $20,000. Now there's no real way to time this top, but it really does come down to formulating a strategy. You know, are you going to be cost averaging in as the prices go down? Are you going to be averaging out when the prices go up? You know, let me know your strategy and what are your thoughts on it. I mean, for me personally, what works best is just putting it on autopilot, you know, just dollar cost averaging. And I think right now is a great time to be doing that because it looks like we're setting up here for the next phase of this current trend. And the current trend has been to the upwards side of things. And what I've noticed that's very interesting from the previous bull market is that when we had these parabolic run-ups, we would have almost equally as violent drops, like declines. Now, in these cases here, I'm looking back here in 2017, and I choose to zoom out here because I kind of like to gain a broader perspective as to what we can expect in the future. And you know, the past does not indicate what will happen in the future, but it is a good indicator of what we can expect. And one thing that I found interesting is that once we had this parabolic run-up, we didn't necessarily drop as sharply as we did, say, maybe at around here at this point. Once we had this parabolic run-up, you know, we had a really big sell-off, but that was immediately bought back up, and we were able to maintain almost a similar price point before continuing higher. So that's very similar to what we see here. You know, the price, I think as the asset matures, you know, we're going to see less violent swings to the upside and the downside. Now, this is crypto, right? So it's still very volatile, but I think that's really nice to see that the market is maturing in the sense that the price swings are not as volatile. So I think in the overall grand scheme of things, you know, we've clearly exited the accumulation phase and the bear market is behind us. So what we have to look for in the future, I think that we're going to be able to see Bitcoin over the next year or two really surprise us as far as the price levels that it's able to attain. And here at this point in time, I think that we're going to be expecting to see a continuation of the trend potentially within the next week, if not the next few days. And some of the indications that I'm looking for, we can see that the RSI has maintained this neutral territory. So I would expect to see once the RSI is able to break above this neutral zone and start making its way higher, we're going to look for that confirmation on some strong volume. And the MACD also here, this is on the daily time frame, the MACD is looking like it's ready to cross over to the positive. So I think once we can see a MACD cross like how we saw here, we would be able to expect to see the price make a nice healthy move to the upside. So that's just what I'm looking at as far as the different indicators and technicals. You know, as far as charting, I try and keep it as simple as possible. If you guys have any suggestions for charting indicators that you would like me to cover here on the channel, please be sure to let me know down in the comments section. I greatly appreciate your guys' feedback. So that's pretty much my thoughts. I think that we can expect to see a few more days of sideways action. And then once we're able to clear this 11K level, you know, on some strong volume, we're going to be able to continue the trend and momentum upwards. All right, so moving on here on Twitter, this is from Rhythm Trader. So this guy is really great because I love his overall perspective on cryptocurrencies and how that ties into the macro factor of global economies and, you know, the fiat banking system. So his tweet here, I'm going to, you know, drop this guy a like. I did like this tweet here. If you guys are not following Rhythm Trader, I would definitely recommend you check him out. The U.S. deficit will hit $1 trillion this year, and he asks, how will they fix this? Well, as far as the options they have, you know, they can spend less, but we know that that's very impractical. It's probably not going to happen. Tax cuts, which they've already tried. Interest rates cuts, which they've already done. So the only real choice that they have left is to print more money. So we know exactly that that is what they've been doing since, you know, the inception of the Federal Reserve. If you go back and take a look at the value of the US dollar since the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913, you can see that the dollar has lost so much purchasing power. And here we go on to see that the problem that we had in 2008 with the housing crisis has just been amplified because the problem was never solved. Essentially what they did was they bailed out these banks. They basically gave them a raise, and they continued to lend out cheap money. And here we are. We're in a situation now with the global economy looking at negative interest rates becoming normal, right? That's like actually a thing. So like if you were to lend the government $100, you can expect to receive $99 in the future. I mean, like, that's just crazy. And right now they're printing money to a point where these currencies are being devalued, and it's a race to the bottom. And we can see with the US-China trade war, that's heating up. That's gotten to a point now where we can see that the US stock market is kind of trying to factor in all these different macro economic factors, and it's going to be interesting. It really is. I mean, I'm a younger person, like I'm 24. I've experienced very little in terms of financial crises and even financial prosperity. I'm looking for that here with cryptocurrency. That's kind of my objective, right? With investing in crypto, that's kind of like me voting to opt out of this system with these fiat banking systems, the military industrial complex. I sound definitely like an anarchist cypherpunk really right now, but I'm just trying to keep it real with you guys. What I'm trying to do here by investing in cryptocurrency is give myself and my family a way out of the control of these corporations, of these big banks. Bitcoin gives me back my freedom, and I know that does that for a lot of you who are investing in crypto. So I would love to know, what is your reason for investing in crypto? Do you want it for the financial freedom? Is it to opt out of the current economic system? Is it to gain a better life and prosperity for your family? What are your guys' thoughts? And then the last point I have for you here, this is going to be news regarding Binance. So Binance has just been crushing the game as far as being a leader in the space. So they have unveiled that it is offering a lending service launching later this month. So according to an official announcement on the 26th, holders of BNB, Ethereum Classic, and Tether will be able to lend their assets and earn interest through Binance's new service called Binance Lending. The services will be available for subscription from August 28th until the 29th. Lending products will have an initial 14-day period. So BNB will have the highest annualized interest rate of 15%, while the rates for USDT and Ethereum Classic amount to 10% and 7% respectively. Now guys, before we continue forward, just to put that in perspective, if you keep your money in a bank, like just your standard checking account at a bank, you can expect to earn potentially maybe around like 1-2%, 2% if you're like really lucky and if you're in a really good bank. So 15% here just for holding BNB, that blows any bank interest rate out of the water. So it's amazing to see that Binance is doing something like this, and they've definitely built the credibility of their brand. Binance has got things going for it, such as their DEX. They've got a margin trading platform now. They're working on Project Venus, which is going to be a competitor to Project Libra of Facebook. So Binance is really paving its way through the cryptocurrency space as a leader in the industry. So the first interest calculation period for this lending platform will be from August 29th until September 10th. So Binance added that interest payout time will take place immediately after the loan term matures. So the annualized interest rate for upcoming phases will be adjusted based on market reception during this initial phase. So this graphic right here just gives you a representation of what you can expect with your interest rate of return depending on what type of assets you are going to be lending. So it gives an example here as well. If user A subscribes to 10 lots of BNB lending, so a total lend of 100 BNB, the interest earned at maturity date will be 0.057534 BNB at a 10 times rate. So you're going to be looking at roughly half of a BNB token. So also today, Binance updated its lending frequently asked questions by adding a new section, Binance Lending Service Agreement, claiming that the Binance lending assets will be used in cryptocurrency leveraged borrowing business on Binance.com. So this is also going to be tying into their margin trading platform, and this is going to help bolster the credibility of that as well. So very interesting to see if you are a holder of BNB. This is good news for you. That means you're going to be able to earn a passive interest just for holding the token. So this is great news coming from Binance, and I know a lot of people are excited about this. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I hope you did find some value from this video. This is pretty much what I have for you here today. Please be sure to stay tuned for future cryptocurrency videos. I'm going to be keeping you guys posted. We are almost at 100 subscribers, so I'd just like to give each and every one of you a huge shout out. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for all of your support. And that is what I have for you here on this video. Until next time, you guys, take care.